Happy Wednesday.
We were going into the Matrix or something over there.
Yeah, they're like ding, ding. Yeah.
I gotta mute myself up. Yeah, happy Wednesday.
Yes.
We've been gone for a minute, but we back. We've been gone for a minute, but we back. Nothing happened.
Okay.
Oh, we
Ain't
just
no
showed
thing
up at the
but
party.
chicken wing.
Oh, we got a good one. It's another banger. Dun, 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 dun. That song is stuck in my head. Yeah, we have another banger. So title is all about Easter. There were so many clever titles that I could have went with. Like you said, Easter in a nutshell. And I was thinking maybe I could have did like Easter in an eggshell.
I was thinking that too, but I said, nah, that's
it won't catch the algorithm, but it's
yeah.
funny and I love it.
That is so funny. We both thought about that.
That's crazy. Welcome in, everybody. I see a whole bunch of members already in the chat. Ooh,
yes, members represent.
Fist bump on your way in. Okay, thanks, Edward, for sharing us out. Hey, Jay, Gavin, Ama, Edward, Roe. Who else we got? King Morgan, Just Kaplan I saw, and Slam. All right. Yes. Fist bump on your way in. I love it. Thanks, Ro. Okay. So we're getting back into the grind, and Easter is coming up. The U.S. Easter is on April 9th, according to my calendar. The Palm Sunday is April 2nd, which is the Sunday before that. And then the Greek Orthodox is after our Easter, so it's April 16th. So it's like Easter Sunday back to back to back to back to back to back. And hopefully with this live, we can explain a little bit about the history of Easter and why people even celebrate it. Whoa, look at that member hype. 19 months in the building, in the house, rolling in deep. I love it. Yes, hashtag mamas know best. Oh, before I get started, if you're catching us on the replay and you're enjoying the sounds of our voices, this is a great podcast to listen to on your way because it's just fun, you know? Even though you may not be able to see us, you may get home and you're like, oh, I want to see what they were talking about, you know? I listen to it sometimes while I'm driving. I'm like, that was funny. I remember that.
I know. Then I started remixing. I have like 20 different clips in my studio right now. Like,
yes,
I gotta say this. This was dope.
I love it.
I'm gonna pop this on them when they. I'm gonna pop this on them. They ain't gonna even be ready for this.
I know. I do the remixes. They're in the shorts, in my shorts playlist. I love them, even though they don't catch. You know, some of them do, and some of them just don't for whatever. But the Uncle Bill, that was hilarious. Uncle Bill. So if you missed that live and you don't know what we're talking about, it was reading food labels. That was awesome. There's so many good ones that I can't even hype it up enough. But anyway, thanks for replaying. Thanks for listening. Check out all the playlists on both channels. Check out the community tab on both channels because there's some funny polls in there, and there's also some great shout outs for channels you may not even have known were out there because we have eclectic taste over here. So
exactly,
variety is the spice of life. Okay, I'm on one. Okay, today. So, hey, Unique Speaks. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna be talking. But there's a chat poll, so please take advantage of that because I'm going to try to throw out as many as possible. All right? Might be a lot of information for you.
Let me tell you something. I have forgot to close every poll that I have put up in the last month. But anyway, okay, so let's break it on down. Hey, wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm getting started.
No, I was about to do an unboxing while you usually get started about 10, 15 minutes in to really on the subject at hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like it.
Oh. I know I have to be in the mood for an unboxing because I give you guys.
I know, right? I know. I'm like, man, I gotta get scissors. What?
I know. I hate cut into the.
When I say it out loud, it sounds so trifling, so I didn't want to say it, but I'm just gonna be real.
That's all we can be.
I'll be real, cause I'm like, man, I don't want to get no scissors. I gotta walk. I'm already set up right here.
Hey, Tam, I saw you, but I don't think I said anything because I see the green first. I'm like, yo, those are my
people. Hey,
okay. What's up? Fist bump on your way in. I'm always in the mood, but I want to film and when I have good stuff,
exactly.
I want to show it, but sometimes life, you're like, oh.
I remember I won the weight loss challenge. Well, I didn't win. I came second place, but I was still turned up about that with the M-Ray weight loss challenge for what was that, January and February. So boom, I was like, I didn't even know because I had missed the video. I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. You gotta stay in tune, you know. But
congrats to you. Hey, it's the gambler. I missed you last night. I was working. That's all I can say. And it was a hell of a night. But anyway, we are here. So hit the poll. I hate Angie. And we're talking about all things Easter. Easter's coming up for us April 9th if you celebrate it. And if you don't, it's a good history overall overview. None of this is like I didn't do the research behind it, but I'm trying to use reputable sources. Wikipedia is not one of them, even though it's displayed on the screen. We're going to scroll down. But if you use good sources, you're bound to find something. So I like the encyclopedia. The History Channel is great too. So Easter is considered a holiday by definition. I'm pretty sure we all knew that. Look at the ads everywhere. So in Latin, it's called Pascha, and in Greek, it's also called Pascha. I'm sure it's pronounced different, but it's now the principal festival of the Christian Church, which celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. So I think we all knew that, right? Or most of us. The English word Easter, which parallels the German word Ostern, is of uncertain origin. I found that fascinating because usually you could trace a word back to its original meaning. But they think it is connected to, in the 8th century, Ostre, the Anglo-Saxon goddess of spring and fertility. So just a quick overview of other belief systems, because I don't like calling them mythology, because that's my personal view. Wait, we got a super sticker!
That's what I'm talking about! What?
Hold up.
And it's a positive vibes one. I love that. That's one of my favorite stuff.
Oh, I see it.
I'm all about the positive vibes, baby.
Yes. It's Pascua in Spanish. Right. I was going to get there. Thank you, Jessica.
Okay. She is the aficionado.
I love it.
I'm trying to throw in my little accents and words that I know.
I love it. Oh, we got another one back to back. Hold on.
Back to back. Hey, wait a minute. Whoa, I can't stop. It ain't stopping. What? Can't stop, won't stop.
Let's throw it out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I love you.
Thank you very much.
For both of you, amazing people. Look at you. Love it. Row and Unique Speaks. Thank you so much. Trying to elevate my game over here. Chat is, yes, everybody seems to have missed us. It's so great. So thanks, Jess, for telling us that one, because they all have similarity in the base word, right? Pass, P-A-S, and then that one's Pasha or Pasqua. But they all start with that. And just a side note, the Quechua, which is the native language of Peru, the word for earth is Pacha. So it's almost very similar, like beginning with a Pa. They also call a lot of other things that come from the earth start with Pa. Spoiler alert, the holiday Easter included the bunny and eggs. Right! Thank you, everybody. You see? These are my people. Like, they already know where we're going with this. So I'm going to end that poll. We got 16 votes. Do you celebrate Easter? 50% said yes. 37% said barely. And 12% said no. Just no. I'm actually behind. I tend to like Easter for the fun of it, not really for the meaning, because clearly there's no bunny running around here laying eggs. But anyway, it's fun to get the kids into something, you know. But okay, so
it is a challenge just not to be, because I'm like, man, we're doing it. But then you can see everything at school and all this kind of stuff, which it's so interesting to me, because we take prayer out of schools, but then we celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of these other holidays that are seemingly tied to some core foundation of faith.
Right.
In some which way, some faith.
So how do you explain the connection, like the interrelation without mentioning religion?
Right.
Because this holiday happens to be based solely now on religion. Right. In the beginning, that's what I want to get to. Hey,
before I'm so rudely interrupted.
No, because everybody's flying out ideas. Everybody's like, yes. And I like it.
I love it.
Yes. Keep throwing out those ideas.
Yes.
Everything. Just think of the foolishness that even goes into the concept. I know, a bunny laying.
Thank you.
As if it's right? Like, if you think about the whole thing, it's like, what sort of lie?
I know, like this.
It's cute, but really bunnies don't lay eggs. So anyway, so originally it was a pagan celebration of the spring equinox, which is why we celebrate it around spring, right? Welcoming in spring. Or is it Happy Oestre? Yes. So Christianity, again, observed the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and the Jewish observes the Passover, which did I put that in my monologue there? Passover is on the 5th of April. That's when it begins. Okay. And then they have Good Friday shortly after that. And I'll go into a little bit of Passover. I'm not Jewish. I don't claim to be Jewish. I could be, though. Bethany is Hebrew. So I could be. There's a town actually outside of Jerusalem called Bethany. And that's actually where Mary and her family are from. Side note. Okay. So the eggs. Where do the eggs come from? Jay just threw that out there. Oh, it's an excellent topic. No, they don't lay chocolate eggs either. So eggs come from, if you think about it, life, right? And birth. So it was signifying new life and rebirth. So it makes sense. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not cool. But in the medieval period, eating eggs was forbidden during Lent, which happened 40 days before Easter. So Easter Sunday became a, I can't even read my own handwriting. Eating eggs became a treat on Easter Sunday. So that's how that got brought into the story. I could be too. Jessica is Hebrew. Right? You see? I was so proud of my name when I found out that. Okay. So I'm going to throw up another poll. Hey, Celestial, thanks for coming in. We're just talking about Easter. And the first one was, do you celebrate Easter? Next, we're going to do word association. We're not going to do a poll yet. Word association when it comes to Easter. Just throw it in the chat. Words that come to your mind for those who are just coming in. Throw some words that represent Easter to you.
Okay, sorry about that. I had a call, work phone call. Y'all are putting down the facts and the history up in the chat. Shout out to everybody live and full effect in the chat. Shout out to those in the bushes and shout out to those watching on the replay. Y'all are putting it down. I love this. We need to have more. I told you they like to speak intellectually about things. Okay, girl, go on. I missed part of it. I'm gonna have to replay our own live. Oh, I'm so excited.
This is so good. That was a good segue, you know, get the little.
Yeah, I'm like reading the chat and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, so I'm going to read off, hey, story time with Uncle Bill, Stock Explorer, and all those who came in. So word association with Easter. If you go back before Hebrew, there were languages. Yes, in different names. I'm so into it, psychedelic, you know, but we only have an hour. I could be here all day. All right, so jelly beans. Ooh, I love jelly beans. They're so not good for you. The pink ones are my favorite. So inappropriate. Pagan fertility. Yes, Celestial. I haven't gotten into it, but it is a pagan holiday originally. So you are on the right track when it comes to that. Baby chicks. Oh my God, that's so cute. I want them. But then what happens when they get bigger? Baby chicks. Okay, what else do we have here? Hey, Mountain, Sweet Ree. Anybody else? The divine feminine was removed. Yes, we're gonna get into it. Peeps, the marshmallow. We're gonna get into it probably another time. You're on mute. Frugal.
I said, oh, I'm sorry, I was on mute. I said, wait till y'all hear her talk about the feminist movement. Oh, but I don't think she'll be able to do that on YouTube.
We'll have to call it something else. But slowly the religion took the divine feminine. King James removed worship to the Mother Mary, and that was the fact. True. We're having a whole combustible issue over here. They grow and lay eggs. I know, it's hilarious. Wait, somebody said something. Rose said the very first Easter was in 31 AD according to Dionysius. Yes, I think I read something like that. You know, he loves the Roman Empire, the only empire that matters.
Yep, that's
I play you guys so much that it gets into my head. All right, so we talked about eggs being new life, rebirth. And then eating of the eggs happened on Easter Sunday because everybody was like oh my God, I haven't had an egg or whatever. Apparently. The name Easter came to the Americas in the 1700s with German immigrants who settled in Pennsylvania, who transported their tradition of egg laying, or Osterhaus, or Osterhaus. So that was another, like, I don't want to say stolen, but migration of a tradition that got turned into something else. The chocolate egg became another pagan symbol when it relates to fertility, spring, and a representation of Christ. Hey,
And that's what I think a lot of people find so beautiful, is that it is kind of fantasized. It's so, romantical and all that kind of stuff. I think that's why people really get into it and appreciate it here in the United States anyway.
Well, I also believe, and this is no dig.
It's so hopeful, it's so hopeful. Just anyway, I'm sorry.
What is it? Spring eternal. What is it? Spring brings eternal something.
Bliss.
Something. Bliss. It could.
Let me see.
Honoring Estrée. Yes. It does all go back to the feminine being. It really does. And a lot of, and I don't even like using pagan because it gives it a demonic meaning when it's not.
Right.
And I think that is the major problem with today's religion structures. Hey, Callie King. I love learning.
Brings hope eternal.
There you go. We know what we're saying.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Estrée, and I'll put it in the chat. It's how I'm posturing, and I'll pull up Estrée so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. And who is this divine beauty? Okay. So Estrée is the pagan fertility goddess of humans and crops. The traditional colors of the festival are green, yellow, and purple. The symbols used are hares, which are rabbits, if nobody knows. It's an old word, but we need to start using some of them old words.
Mm-hmm.
It's pronounced Easter. Ostra. Oh, okay. Okay. See, I'm learning.
Yeah.
The symbols are hares and eggs representing fertility, because we all know bunnies breed like, well, rabbits and new life. So it's interesting that throughout history in older civilizations, there was always a female or goddess that represented a lot of things in nature. And they also had counterparts to the male side as well, or the masculine god. So Easter, she was a goddess or a queen, what is this? Ramis, wife of Nimrod, Noah's. There's things that are connected to the Bible. Oh my gosh, I have something in my throat. Hold on. Okay, so she was favored as a goddess, but other countries put her as a queen. And even the wife of Nimrod referred to Easter the fertility goddess. Easter derived from pre-Christian goddesses in England who celebrated the beginning of the spring equinox. So we heard it from the Germans. We've heard it in some Egyptian or Northern African sort of Middle Eastern sections that also have a fertility goddess with maybe a different name, but on the same path. Thank you, Psychedelic. So the pagan festival paid tribute to the renewal of the earth, which is why I brought up the Quechua word for earth, because it does have the same base as Pasha, Pascua, and it's all interconnected. So the rebirth, the life after the dead of winter was a celebration because they usually died. The majority of the people with harsh winters and crops dying off, that the celebration of life needed to be unified by the people. So they celebrated spring and seeing the grass grow and the flowers and the trees and bringing back life. You know, there was something to appreciate. Goes, yeah, way back, Psychedelic. Yeah. I know you mentioned the Anunnaki, I believe I saw that, and Ishtar, and I'm on all of that right there with you. But I could lose a lot of people, you know, if I go way back. But this one specifically is about Easter. So you see a correlation between goddesses over multiple belief systems in Asia, all over Africa, and into the what they call the Middle East. So the representation of a feminine and divine beauty, or a goddess, or a queen, was something that was traditional and got lost once it came over to the United States. The depletion, actually, of a feminine energy and the representation of beauty and nature within the feminine compounds, because that's what it was based off of, definitely got lost. But I don't want to click on Wikipedia here, but let's click on this one, all about Easter.
Y'all be capping on Wikipedia, and I know it may not all be necessarily accurately 100%, but they do be having some good information. They do kind of put it down. Let's go ahead and give a hand clap to Wikipedia for what they do. Try to give you a general basic idea. You may be off a few facts or 2 or 3, but at the same time, you close, man. You like right there at the finish line. You just got to bring it home and do a little extra research. That's all.
Yes. Yeah, you got to do a little extra. Okay. BS Speaks, she mentioned something that is really, really good related to Easter. So the being fruitful and multiply, as it's referenced from the source of the Bible, is what I see as linked with Easter, pagan. If people would research all holidays, they would be surprised. I know. And we're going to try to go over all of them. So not today. Today's just Easter. Psychedelic said, oh, they changed a trinity of creation to a father and son don't make a child. Yes. Psychedelic. Yes. Hey, Empress, goddess and treasures. And thanks for coming in, guys. We're having a really good discussion, and this is just an enlightenment and a session on history and how it affects our present day. This is no way trying to define your religion or anybody else's religion. I'm pulling in religion because religion incorporated a lot of old traditions that had basis in a religion belief system. So it's not to demolish anybody's religion. I'm very open-minded about everybody. And I just like learning history. So, and you guys are super awesome in the chat.
And let me just say, I saw the Bud Files do a segment on St. Patrick's Day, and he was just, reading all the stuff. I said, "Oh, this saved me so much time from having to read." It was so enjoyable just to hear him just say all the things. I'm like, I don't have to stop and try to, figure out this word or whatever. The only thing is by listening to something, sometimes if you're going to dig deeper, then you try to, you have to do that. But so I really appreciate you doing all, all the, what you do, because
I love it.
I know, I love me some research. We just talk about something in the morning. By afternoon, I'm putting something on the community tab. This means this, and what did you know about this, and what about this? And I love that. Okay, so go ahead.
Oh, I know. Oh, I don't like those Cadbury eggs. They're just weird. Let me see. Mountain of Inspiration did say something too. All these celebrations mean nothing to the big businesses out there. They actively promote and push them and turn them into huge celebrations because they know it can make money through the faith communities. So true. And it's really propaganda because they don't really care about the association. But you're on mute.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, you so right, Mountain of Inspiration. Don't care about none of this stuff. Maybe agnostic or whatever, something else don't have nothing to do with nothing. They don't care. It's about that bottom dollar, which I can't say I would really, I don't understand that life. So I can't say, speak negative or against it, because you never know once you get that billion. You talking about trillions. Some people got trillions, billions of dollars. Their mind, your whole way you shift may change. I don't know. You would think that you would stay rooted and grounded, but look at so much evidence of people losing their mind and then coming, and then some people, I'm not saying that, but some people say they the Illuminati and all this soul, selling the soul. We don't know.
We just don't know.
Okay, but I done went off on my last tangent. Go ahead.
No, we all have threads of tangents that happen. We all do. Like we can connect a whole, 6 degrees of separation with a lot of this. So I'm just gonna bits and pieces here. Most of the symbolism around this holiday actually comes from pre-Christian pagan celebration of the spring equinox, which we've talked about. For example, we paint Easter eggs with bright colors at this time of the year. The bright colors are a reflection of spring's flowers blooming, and the egg itself may be linked to chickens running to lay after the long winter's months. The Easter rabbit symbolizes fertility. We all know that bunnies get pretty busy, if you know what I mean. So here's a picture of the pagan goddess over here. It's just one. This doesn't mean that's what she looked like. But you can see the yellow, the brightness. We have talked about some colors in past live streams. So color association as well with spring is visualized here. You can see the mountains in the background are no longer snow-capped. They actually have like peaks of sun ray coming on top. So it's seeming like, bright and beautiful. And, when the spring comes, everything is illuminated more and bright and cheery. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Hey, Techlid, what's up? Cats get busy too, huh? Sadly, there was I know. Shout out to all those people in Pennsylvania, the Palmer factory, actually. It's the other brand that makes a lot of the chocolate bunnies. Let's see. So these Easter eggs are actually very representative of what they would have looked like during festivals. I've seen them on many different websites. So let's see. Venerable Bede, who reported that pagan Anglo-Saxons in medieval Northumbria, which I think I mentioned earlier, held festivals in her honor during the month of April, which is Easter, the goddess. Whether Easter was really worshipped as a goddess or not, by the 19th century, she had become an important part of German culture, and she was added to the German literature, painting, and folklore, which tells you that she had some significance in order to be represented in paintings, because paintings were usually held to a certain class of people, or like people who were propped up, so to speak. So here's another adaptation of what she would have looked like. Anybody heard of the Brothers Grimm? I like a lot of their stuff. But according to Jacob Grimm, Easter seems therefore to have been the divinity of the radiant dawn of the upspringing light, a spectacle that brings joy and blessing, whose meaning could be easily adapted to and by the resurrection of Christian God. Some of those people weren't. Oh, I know. It's so sad, Nora. Stock Explorer. Let's see. It makes sense that the chosen date to represent the rebirth of Jesus was based around that time, the spring equinox. Oh, look at that. A YouTube video all about Easter, the spring goddess of dawn. I think a lot of people are just now getting more hip to the scene when it comes to the bases and the foundations and the history related to religions. Like I said, I don't like to call it paganism because I feel like it's a link to calling it something worshiping the devil, which I don't particularly think that. I don't think that if you have a different belief system than other people, that you have to demonize their religion because it doesn't make any sense to you. So, and it actually did make a lot of sense then because people were more connected to Mother Earth and the other planets and the stars and the sun and the moon and how things around them evolved and happened. You know, they kept very good count of things that were happening around them. So it's hard for me to believe that many different civilizations would have had a representation of a goddess like this. And we don't now. I remember as a child, tradition. Oh, the hot cross buns. Yes. Yeah. So let me see my notes here. So the Easter Bunny, I couldn't actually get like an actual who came up with the whole idea. I think it was kind of piecemealed together, you know, like, oh, bunnies, they reproduce really fast, and eggs, those are nice to paint, you know, like it just came together to represent that. But it was a festival, it was a celebration, but leading more back to a goddess rather than a bunny, or even the Christian idea of Jesus and the resurrection. That got linked to it, but the original idea. So I did say I wanted to talk about Passover, which is celebrated by the Jewish community, the religion of Judaism, not a group of people that associate themselves as being Jewish. But in the Hebrew language, the Jewish holiday commemorated Hebrews' liberation from slavery in Egypt and the passing over of forces of destruction, sparing their firstborn. And it usually started on the 15th and lasted until the 21st of March or April. And the month, it's a Hebrew word, so I don't want to butcher it. But hey, Mountain, I saw you. Hey, Kenneth. Easter Bunny is nowhere. Yeah, I know. Nowhere to be found, but somehow got thrown in there. Yet Easter Bunny is now front and center during Easter celebration. Yes, because as much as religion had played an impact on many civilizations, a belief system, because not all belief systems are religion, but a belief system that celebrated things of life and things of rebirth and joy and returning of the springtime had to be transitioned over here to put a figure, you know, something that was eye-catching. That's usually how they make a profit off of it, because it's eye-catching and it's contagious after a while. You know, you see all these things built up in the stores and everywhere around you about bunnies, and did you get your eggs? Are you dyeing eggs? Even that, you know, putting candies in there. It's sort of a lure mechanism, and it makes it fun for the people who are celebrating it, but it's not really based off of anything like the bunny, you know. Moses never mentioned Easter bunnies, yet these bunnies now run the show. Psychedelic said, I went to make sure the pronunciation was right and came back. Thank you. They told me I should buy some gold chocolate Easter bunnies on the ad. You gotta be kidding. So as much as, and just a side note on the algorithm, the more you say the name of the title and the thing that you're talking about, the more it actually gets pushed out. Hey, Lynn, Moses had a ram, which is connected to the zodiac sign Aries, right? Because their world at that time was more clear, less polluted. So they were able to see the constellations more visible. And I can't even imagine what it would have looked like then. But yes, a lot of the astrological signs are related to stars, and the zodiac signs are also intertwined as well. And Aries happens to fall in April. So there's a connection there for sure. The Bible translate properly is zodiac signs and a return to ourself. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Lynn, like the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life are all about energy and healing self. Wait, say the title thing. Yeah, all about Easter. I haven't gotten into the Kabbalah, but I've heard a lot of things and the connectedness to other civilizations. So I'm very intrigued by that. The formation of the Tree of Life came out of Egypt with Isis. Isis is another feminine goddess who represents motherly. She represents a lot of things. Hey, Rich, new design, but Isis, oh my gosh, if I got into that, I mean, it's very hard to go over ancient civilizations and present holiday celebrations and present commemorations or things like that, because sometimes people assimilate old traditions, old history with condemning their religious or belief system, which is not really the case. It's actually the backup to why your belief system functions now. None of them are wrong, by the way. My mom and older sister are both Aries. Ooh, so the butting of the heads, huh? Hey, Maestro, did they do fasting anywhere for Easter or just the Roman Catholic Church? That's a good question. So the idea of Lent or fasting, it might have been involuntary, though. Thinking about it, dead crops and everything. The history behind fasting. Fasting can be traced back to 5th century father of medicine. Oh, Hippocrates, or Hippocrates, however you say it. Making recommendation for food abstinence. That's just one answer, right? But that might be where they've gotten it from. Hey, Odom, boss lady. Yeah, so we're just talking about Easter and the traditions behind it and the history behind it, and what it actually means, and what are we really celebrating when it comes to some of these holidays. So Passover, I just briefly went over it. It's linked to Easter because it happens before. So it happens usually on a Wednesday, and then you get the Good Friday because that's when they woke up to realize, whether they had been passed over, so to speak, the demonic or destructive forces took their firstborn child or not. And even that has a really long story behind it too. Hey, Buddha. So I did mention Greek, and just brought up the Pasqua. Oh, what about the Seder? Anybody heard of the Seder? I learned about it in mythologies when I was taking some classes. A period of Lent. Okay. Yes, the Seder. It's a special family meal that happens on the first night. Hey, Truth Master Dre. Yes, it's a special family meal. It doesn't really say dinner. It talks more about having a meal together. But we translate that as dinner, right? Because I have a hard time believing a lot of older civilizations were doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner and some snacks, you know?
Yeah, I'm telling you, good one meal a day. I get off my call, I came right back on full effect, boy.
Yeah.
Yes. It's impossible because you are hunting and gathering. There is no way you had time to do all this.
Well, even that, I don't want to get off course, but even that, they have found that there have been skulls and bones that predate what they think humans started on this planet.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So what they call, and I call them the Ooga Boogas, the caveman, because there really wasn't a caveman. There were people who lived in caves, but they weren't just, you know, like slapping each other over the head with a little
buffoons.
You know,
mm-hmm.
They were way more civilized then and did have civilization. But the creation of the caveman came because of a astronomical event that happened, or a cataclysmic event that happened, that has been documented several times in history, that Earth keeps getting hit with meteors or whatnot. And the only place for these people to go were in caves or in mountains to get away. That doesn't mean that they were just, you know, clubbing each other, you know. But I think that distorted history is about to be revealed because there's been way more scientific evidence now finding human skeletal remains and associated objects that would prove that they weren't as hunter-gatherers as we like to think that they were.
I think they may still have to get it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you watch the when you watch the Discovery Channel, they doing these reenactments. I'm like, as scarce as shelter was, you would have to either you know instinctively do what comes naturally, which is find a way to survive. And how you gonna do that? Kill you something to eat or pick you some berries or whatever, you know, type of thing, you know, pre-civilization, at least going back. But yeah, when they said dinosaurs, I said, oh, this had to been millions and whatever long ago. Couldn't have been in this 2000 quote unquote type of thing. It had been way back to even.
Yeah, and there are some tribes out there and groups of people that are still what we would call hunter-gatherers, but that's because they choose not to live amongst the civilized world. And to be quite honest, those might be the only people that survive. Because they have no idea what the internet is like and don't even want to be a part of it. There's tribes that exist in the Amazon currently that they don't even want you coming over there.
They don't want anybody coming. We was talking about Tasha and I were talking about that, and they were like, and some journalists or something came in over there and whatever, and then they what they do when strangers and people come out, they can introduce all the germs and all the diseases and all that kind of stuff. They say stay away. I ain't gonna say what all.
Isn't that kind of what happened in history already?
Yeah.
And so I'm sure their passed down spoken history has told them stay away from them folks. They kill you.
They know, but they know.
6 feet. 6 feet.
And they serious about that too.
Yeah, and they like to demonize a lot of these tribes for not wanting to be up with our current times. But they demonize them by calling them cannibals or uncivilized, savage. I'm sure you've heard these words before in some sort of history class. And it's not okay. It's not okay to say that a group of people who choose to live their life differently is uncivilized. Who's to say they don't have a thing, a hierarchy or a classism or a society? You just can't see it past the garments that they're wearing.
Exactly.
Anyway, there is some isolated Aboriginal tribes. Yes, yep. And I'm sure all across the world there still are. I went to a Native American, ayahuasca.
I know.
Ayahuasca. Hopefully it wasn't in this country because it's not. Anyway.
Right. We not doing no snitching or nothing over here now.
No deep dive in here. What did you say, Buddha, about the Maya? Yes, they are. Mayas are still in existence. Yep. And even then, they're finding that the Maya people had more technology than they were actually thought to have had. Documented technology.
Yeah, because you got to figure stuff out. You're going to figure out, what do people do when you are like need to survive? You figure out a way. And I can't even fathom what, all the things, that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
Peru. Yeah.
Oh,
you're talking about Peru. Remember?
Don't even get me started.
I've been saying, do not get us started on Peru. We're to be continued.
There is much wisdom and knowledge in the shamanic societies and have the key to spiritual healing and ascension. Yeah, and the best way to have spiritual healing or whole body, holistic healing is to get away from all of this.
But this is the thing. Like when people say, "Oh, they're God of this, God of that," they think they're there's some idolization or whatever. But they like I ain't gonna say every other group of people, realize that there is like the one God Almighty. Well, we're not talking about religion, but there are some other gods, and that's why they seem to kind of try to demonize that. They're saying, "Guys, you're contradicting whatever." I don't know, but that demonization will have people, in the clue, not in tune with like healing herbs and stuff that those cultures brought to our society and how they survived.
Yeah.
But keep them ignorant though.
Yeah, that's the way that it seems to be going. Yes, you are so right. Get away and free the mind. I talk about a lot. I gotta tune in, psychedelic. I gotta tune in. Maybe just listen in more than tune in, because I get so fixated. I love hearing this stuff. Keeps us. Yep. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about Passover and the Seder, because it is related. Again, I don't claim to be a member of the Judaism religion, but the Seder is associated with Easter, and it's a festive holiday meal. It actually means order. It is called this because the meal is done in a certain order, which takes us from slavery to freedom. The Haggadah, which means the telling, is the book used at the Passover Seder. The Haggadah explains the foods on the Seder plate, recounts the highlights of the Exodus, and includes songs, prayers, questions, and beignets, which are poems. And see, all of this stuff is relative, right? Because you hear Exodus, right? And Christians jump, because it's familiar, the book of Exodus. Oh, I know that, or Jewish people will hear the Exodus and they're like, I know that. So it is relative because it all happened around the same time frame, March or April. It keeps going back and forth. And as well as I do, that Easter sometimes lands in March and sometimes lands in April. You just never know. And that's probably how it's been going. So without going too deep into what the Exodus means, but this is associated with their belief of the Passover and what happened, and they celebrate by having a meal to remember. That's the whole point of a lot of religious or belief systems, is to remember, from where your people came from, where they are now, and to never forget. I think a lot of people who hold values can all relate to that.
Exactly. I completely agree, because I never want to forget the resurrection. That's the main part. But
main part of the tale here. But in all actuality, we really could. It's very hard, especially in this country. I don't know, because I didn't grow up in another country, but it's very hard in this country to disassociate yourself from all the propaganda out there associated with actual meaningful traditions, instead of calling them holidays, traditions.
Right, tradition. I like that. Very well said.
Because I like the whole Easter egg thing, but I don't claim it in the name of Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're not getting eggs in the name of Jesus. We're not, we're doing it for fun. And some of that kind of gets boggled down. And then, like Mountain of Inspiration was saying, you wash out the whole purpose of why you're celebrating Easter. So yeah, the holidays do go back to the moons and the cycles of the moons and the equinoxes. We definitely will have more time to talk about the skies and how Earth moves and how it has adapted some of the cultural and traditional things that have happened globally. It's not just this country. So when we do have those conversations and presentations, I would like some people like Psychedelic, if you're willing to come up and give us some background on some of it, because I don't claim to be
celestial.
Celestial.
And we got all different kind of perspectives, because from different places. Jess got
yes.
Thank you, OJ Raider.
It means a lot to know our spirit essence. I have been on a journey since my daughter. Yeah. Yeah. So I love all of that, because whether we live in a technological society, you still see the moon, right? You still see the sun. You can still see the stars if you go outside. So it's not something that's forgotten and gone.
Right. Exactly. So, I'm gonna have to bring it home, because we're already at 58 minutes, but we want to thank everybody so much for being here. We will do a little summary right now. Then it's not about religion or nothing. It is about Easter and understanding the history of Easter, and being, I'm not, like I said, I'm always going to try to be respectful to anybody about their views and opinion, but also feel free to express my own. And I have an appreciation for history and people, because I 100% believe that having such diversity is a blessing to us, because then we can experience more than just our own experience. And sharing these things is very fascinating to me, and it's an honor and it's a privilege. So thank everybody live and full effect in the chat. Thank everybody in the bushes, and thank everybody on the replay. If you reach this part of the video, don't forget to let us know what you think about the content, any topics. We do have community posts for questions for One Busy Mama or myself, or both, up. So we will have an upcoming Converse with the Mama Q&A. So if you have any questions, as long as it is,
respectful.
I'm finna say won't get you slapped, but now you said it better. Respectful. We go with that. Now just letting y'all. I don't be doing all that. I just like to have fun and trip out, but still gain something from being, on the live stream for an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for participating. Go ahead, One Busy Mama. 1B.
Yeah, I loved it. I think this was an awesome, I think they're all awesome, but I think it's great to learn and expand our minds and just go past what's sitting in front of us, in the hustle and bustle of every day. It really gets lost into translation. And knowing where you come from or like other traditions of other people's, it's fascinating. It really is, because they're doing it for a reason. So I'm curious, why are you guys doing all that? So just take a little time and think about some of these holidays or traditions that we uphold here and across the world, and think about where they came from, because we're going to dive into a few of them. Because you can still go ahead and celebrate it. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying, when you pick up that, just remember. Anyway, it's been great. Go check out the playlist. Like Frugal said, we do have a poll out there, questionnaire. So go check that out. If you didn't hear her, go check them out. Leave some questions, because we're going to be going over them, and it's going to be awesome. And we'll take some from the chat. So I think that's it.
Yeah, especially provide us feedback on the live streams to let us know we on the right track. Because we having a good time. But we sit up and talk like this. We're like, she would break it down, and then I say, okay, I was looking at this. What do you think about this? I was listening to something, and it just goes on. We could talk for hours, but let us know your thoughts. And join me Monday. I'm doing my little drop, my little, tomorrow. Every day, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time for workout with me. Hey, okay. And it's not instructional, so you can do what you do, I do what I do, but we do it together. And it's the time to be productive. And then on Saturday, y'all, we have Turner Talk podcast. It's going to be a panel. I'm wearing this shirt because RT Speaks is one of the panelists. And we're gonna have some other guests on there talking about, I don't know. Tasha got a whole notebook of stuff that she got planned for Saturday, and I'm like, okay, just let me know. Anyway, and so yeah, that's about it. Oh, I have a premiere tomorrow as well. I think you do as on Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Okay. So yeah, set your reminders for those things so you can have your face in the place. Thanks to the super chatters, thanks to the members, thanks to everybody in the chat, thanks to those lurking in the bushes. Appreciate it.
I'm gonna roll out with the Converse with the mamas here. All right, now we will see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
I'm staying like this for a thumbnail.